Top of the second inning, and Eduardo Perez is the man up for the California Angels. We got a fastball up in the zone for a strikeout of 7. Eduardo Perez is an 8. And if we look at Jimmy Key's strikeout, it's a +1. So that would be a 9. It would be a K9. Now a K9 is above strikeout 7. So you need to remember with walks and strikeouts that for a batter, if his rating is higher than the rating on the flip card, then it's good for the batter. Now, obviously good for the batter in this case, because his rating of 9 is higher than a 7, is he doesn't strike out. He puts the pitch into play. Down the bottom, we have another ground ball, fly ball in the ball in play section. So obviously no double play to happen here, but we still need to get the fielder. So Jimmy Key is a ground ball of 3. Facing up to Eduardo Perez, ground ball of 5. Now there is no 5 there, it only goes up to 4, but the 4 is a 6-4-3 or a 6-3 in this case because there's nobody on base. Perez is down, that'll bring up Chris Turner, 1 out in the second innings here. Chris Turner batting .310 on the year so far. Jimmy Key actually has had a really bad season so far. His card is pretty good, but he's had a horrible run. So he's on 3 for 61. Hopefully he can get a win here for the Yankees today. We got a walk 15 with Green, but because we're in the second inning now, fresh doesn't come into play for a starting pitcher. A starting pitcher has the first inning of fresh. So we need to check if a walk of 15 happens. Now, walk of 15 is the highest in the range. It's basically a W1 through W15. So most likely not to happen. We have a contact rating of, a patience rating of 3 for Chris Turner. And we have -1. So he's actually a W2. So again, if the batter is above the rating, or equal to it in this case, he would get the good thing for the batter, which is the walk. But because he's well below it, the ball's in play. It's a fly ball. And the fly ball is out to right field. Try to get that into focus a little bit more. We're going to be Rex Hudler facing Jimmy Key. Rex Hudler is 143 on the year so far, so not a good start for Rex Hudler. He leaves a pitch at the 0 down the middle for a strike, and later on in the at-bat, because he's left that one, that's affected his at-bat, and we're looking at a strikeout 3. So Rex Hudler is a K5, +1 for the strikeouts is a 6, which means that Rex Hudler is above it, so it's good for the batter. So it means he puts the ball in play. The pitcher misses his spot. It's a power check. If it's not a home run, it's a fly ball. That little orange rating is if for dead ball play, but we're not in the dead ball era, obviously. So let's have a look at the power for Rex Hudler. Now Rex Hudler is a 57 power with nobody on, so pretty good to start with. Over here, Jimmy Key, though, he takes away a lot of home runs, so it's a -15. So that 57, -15 becomes a 42. So 1 to 42 is a home run. Otherwise, it's going to be a fly ball. This time we'll try to press the right dice. And that's a 10. And that's between 1 and 42. So Rex Hudler goes deep for the first time this year. And it is 1-0 to the California Angels. 2 down in the first. That's a little confidence building for Hudler, who's having a bad season so far. Jimmy Key needs to shake that off. He's got Spike Owens coming up, the number 9 hitter. Now, the little symbol at the front there, the little asterisk, and I'll try to get that clearer. It's not really working. That is basically, it brings into things like, as you can see over here, like balks, wild pitches, pass balls. Now, they can happen before the at-bat or after the at-bat. So you could possibly have one after the at-bat, our wild pitch happen after the at-bat happens. Say a man gets on and there's a wild pitch. Before the next at-bat, that symbol may come up again before the next play. And there might be 2 wild pitches in a row. So that's quite a good thing. But in this case, because nobody's on, it doesn't matter. It's a strikeout 7 on Spike Owen. So Spike Owen with nobody on is a K14 for his contact. Jimmy Key, we know, is a +1. Takes him to a K15 now. K15 is well above strikeout 7, so it's good for the batter, and the ball's in play. And this time we've got fielding. Now, with fielding checks, oftentimes, I think most of the time, they have a possible running game scenario. So we need to check if Spike Owen has a jump of 9 or above. So if we come over to Spike Owen's card, we can see that his jump is a 30. So if the fielding check results in the man getting on first base, then we will have to check the running game portion of the card to see if there's a steal or a pickoff or etc. Okay, so we need to flip another card. Now this card, we're looking at the second bit, which is the fielding check. Now, you can see it's a line drive to first base, and he drives full stretch to his right. Can he double up the runner at second? Well, in this case, there's nobody on to double up, but he's still got to make the catch. So the first baseman for the Yankees is Don Mattingly. If we come over to Mattingly's card, we can see under first base his fielding is a C+. So anything from C+ down through F is going to be a catch. Anything from B- up to A+ or a fail will be a hit. If we come over to the fielding check, we can see next to that at the bottom of the card here that it's an E-. So again, Mattingly is a C+. E- is well within his range. So we go back to the fielding card, and it's a line out and a nice diving catch to 33-year-old Don Mattingly. And that will be 3 outs. Back over to the Yankees in the bottom of the second, and Paul O'Neill is the batter. He's obviously facing Mark Leiter. There's Paul O'Neill. 1-0, the Angels up ahead with a Rex Hurdler homer. So the umpire missed a few pitches in this at-bat, but is it going to be a walk? So Paul O'Neill needs to be 7 or above to get the walk. Paul O'Neill's patience is a 7, so it's exactly 7. And Mark Leiter's control with the bases empty is 0. So 0 plus 7 is 7. So it is right on the walk. Now, if for walks and strikeouts, if you're right on, it's either a walk or a strikeout. So you walk this case. Okay, so he's walked. Now, next to it is the jump. Now, jump 2 stars. Basically, the jump rating is from 0 to 100. And then it's 1 star, 2 stars, and 3 stars. Now, 1982, Ricky Henderson, 3 stars. Is Paul O'Neill stars at all? Let's have a look at his jump rating. No, his jump rating is an 18. So because his jump rating is an 18, we don't have to worry about the jump section of that. He doesn't qualify for trying to steal a base. In that way, we can get people with more stolen bases, more speed, their stolen base attempts, and Paul O'Neill does not get one in this case. Matt Noakes is up, 30-year-old catcher for the Yankees. There's a man on. And, okay, we've got our little apostrophe. Before the crack of the bat, the ball's in play. So the ball is going to be put in play. But before any of that happens, we need to check to see this section here on another card to see if there's anything we've got to look at. Now, this card here says, wild pitch question mark, catcher block. So let's take this card out of there for the second. So first thing we need to do is we need to make sure, we need to see if Mark Leiter has wild pitched it. If he does, then the catcher's got a chance to block that pitch. Mark Leiter, he's got a wild pitch, and it's hard to see clearly, 18. So 1 to 18 is a possible wild pitch. 50, it's no wild pitch. Get rid of that card. So the initial ball in play happens. Without a wild pitch, we come down to here, and we've got a ground ball, fly ball section now. We can see if it's 1+, it's going to be a double play, and we've got nobody out with a runner on first base. So we're going for a double play here. So Matt Noakes and Al Leiter. So Al Leiter's ground ball double play is 0. Matt Noakes is 0. So 0 all up is a fly ball. So because they don't hit into double plays much, or Mark Leiter doesn't induce double plays as much, in this case it's going to be a fly ball. So that fly ball is P6. Now there's a wind rule there that could have made it a single, but we're not playing any wind rules today, so it is just a pop-up to the shortstop. 1 down and 1 on. Bernie Williams is up. Bernie Williams is up for the Yankees. Inside fastball. Will the batter chase? Well, in this case, it's seeing whether he will chase the pitch or not, because later on in the at-bat, there's going to be some patience. So we're looking for a walk of 5. Now, with the man on, the patience for Bernie Williams is a 5, and Mark Leiter with the man on is a -1, which makes him a 4. So 5, -1, 4. Bernie Williams needs to be a 5. So the reading on the flip card is above the batter. So if the batter was above the flip card or equal, it'd be good for the batter. In this case, it's not. So he, instead of walking, he will put it into play. And putting into play, that is a fly ball. The fly ball is a line out to the third baseman, but that has an asterisk next to it. So a possible error against the third baseman, Damon Easley. Damon Easley, if we look at his fielding, we can see that he's got a 20 error rating. So over here we need to, 1 to 20 will be an error for Damon Easley. 95, and Damon Easley makes the play. So runner still on first base, 2 outs this time. Randy Velarde is up. Versus Mark Leiter. 0-2 fastball, but Velarde has put it into play. And it's going to be a ballpark check. So again, we go to Yankee Stadium. If there's an out, it's going to be a ground ball. Yankee Stadium again, let's go and have a look over here. 43. 43. And I'm going to try and get that, it's not really working that well. 43 for Yankee Stadium, as we can see over here, is an out. So as I said before, if there's an out on this check, it's a ground ball. And it is a 4-3, but that's got an asterisk on it as well. So we need to check the home run hitter, Rex Hudler. His error rating at second base. There's Rex Hudler, and second base is a 15. So 1 to 15 will be an error, otherwise the 4-3 ground out and the inning's over. And we got 1, so that's going to be an error to Rex Hudler. So we've got runners on first and second base now with 2 outs, and Pat Kelly will come up for the Yankees, see if he can take advantage of that error by Hudler. So Pat Kelly's up. We got a walk of 3 and a jump of 65 plus. Okay, now in this situation, the jump's not going to come into it. So if he walks it, it will load the bases and there'll be no one in front of him, even if he did have a jump of 65 plus, which he doesn't. He's only got a 31. So In this case, we're looking at the walk 3. Now, the patience is a 3 for Kelly, but the control for Leiter is a -1. So 3 -1 is a 2, which then puts the 3 above the batter's adjusted rating. So again, the walk is taken away from Kelly and the ball's in play. But it could be a soft liner up the middle and a single to center field. Now, is the adjusted single rating 6-30, which is most likely? If so, we got a chance at maybe getting a run here. So over here for Pat Kelly, we have his batting rating of 11, and we have Mark Leiter's pitching rating with men on of -5. That takes him down to a 6. A 6 is exactly what Pat Kelly needs. So Mark Leiter nearly took it away from him, but it's going to be a single up the middle to center field. And with the base running rating of +1. Now it says jump 35 here as well. 31 for Kelly is not going to be factored into that. So we've got a single to center field. We have a runner at second base. And we have 2 outs. So you can see here we've got a runner at second with 2 outs. Yes, he would score. Now where's the other runner? We've got a runner going from first to third with 2 outs. And he would need to be a D+. Obviously remembering that we've got a +1. So that that D would go down to a D-. So if he's equal or above D-, Randy Velarde at first for his base running rating. So Velarde's base running rating is a C. So he would go to third on it. So we've got a runner coming in and a runner going to third. So a single, and the Yankees tie this one up at 1 apiece. They'll come back to the top of the lineup, and Luis Polonia is up. Polonia grounded out to shortstop his first time up. Again, we have the asterisks, and we need to check if there's going to be something happening. Now, as you can see here, that's a pass ball opportunity. Now, the pass ball opportunity would score a run if it happens. So who's the catcher? The catcher is Turner, Chris Turner. Down the bottom there, you can see his pass ball rating. His pass ball rating is a 17. So 1 to 17, 78. Pass ball doesn't happen. So instead of that, we go to the next reading on the pitch is the base on balls 4. Luis Polonia with a man on. Polonia is a 6. Mark Leiter is a -1. So it takes Polonia down to a 5. A 5 is equal or above the walk rating, so it's good for the batter. And we've walked. So we have the bases loaded now for Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs started his season at 333. He had 342 that year with the bases loaded. You can see his men on base rating is a little bit better. 4 singles up the top at 21 there instead of 18 for bases empty. But Mark Leiter takes 5 away with men on, so he's tougher with men on, whereas with no men on base, he gives them. So it's actually a better rating for Wade Boggs with bases empty against Mark Leiter, which is not normal. If the pitcher was average. So bases on balls 2 and a jump of 50. Again, it's a walk with the bases loaded. We don't have to worry about the jump. Mark Leiter is a -1. Wade Boggs' patience with men on is an 8. So he takes him to a 7 patience, which is well above the base on balls 2, which is good for the batter, which is a walk. So in comes a run. Wade Boggs walks, and in comes Randy Velarde. That's an unearned run. They're actually both unearned runs because of the error earlier in the inning by Hudler. 2-1 to the Yankees. Don Mattingly is up now. Chance to put this in play is a strikeout 1, which is generally not going to be a strikeout, but we'll have a look. We got Mattingly as a 13 with men on. +1 is a 14, so no chance he's well above the reading, so it's good for the batter. It's in play. This time it's going to be a ground ball. That ground ball is a 4-6. So basically Hudler flicks it across to Owens and he will take the out at second base. And that'll be the end of the frame. So 2 runs for the Yankees, both unearned, and they lead it 2-1.